So Rick, we're here on the bridge, the future bridge. It's not officially the bridge yet, it's not open. It's amazing watching it come together slowly but surely.
It's actually coming together very methodically. It's a big project with a lot of elements, so it takes a lot of coordination from the contractor and our inspection teams and our project manager to pull all the elements together. The work actually started 2 years ago in the river with our first contract, which was to put the three piers in. And that contractor, American Bridge, he used a lot of waterborne equipment, major barges and large cranes and large-scale equipment to install the caissons that are supporting the structure. Now, ACON here is contract 2, and their job is to build the bridge superstructure, the roadway approaches. A second bridge is the canal bridge that we passed over. It doesn't look as impressive, but in itself is quite a large structure because of the width of how wide it is. And then, of course, the connectors on Brookdale Avenue.
And driving up here, you were talking about the extensive and very expensive underground infrastructure. They didn't just plunk a bridge in, they've redone all the city sewage and water intakes.
That's right. When we were planning this back in early years of 2000, we coordinated with the city of Cornwall because we're changing the bridge approach and digging that up and making the alterations. That gave them the opportunity to upgrade their systems as well. So it's all being done in a coordinated fashion.
How many years have you been shepherding this project?
We did our first analysis of the feasibility of doing this in 1998. And the first thing was just to see, should we spend our resources renovating the existing high-level bridge, or is it time to plan and construct a low-level bridge? So we did a life cycle cost analysis on that.
So you're 15 years into this project, and now you're going to see this bridge come to life this year.
Well, that's why we're very excited about it. It's amazing, and you know, it's once you have a good plan, once you have the commitment of the other stakeholders, then it really does take a very good momentum to the project, and it is coming together nicely.
Well, give me a tour of the bridge here. Let's check it out. We're going to walk and talk, and hopefully not trip. And
sure.
You know, how long? The new bridge is shorter than the old bridge, right?
Yeah. Let me just get by.
Yeah. So we're now on the new bridge itself, the platform of it.
That's correct.
And we still have the old pillars of the old bridge here.
Right.
That's going to be an interesting process, bringing the old bridge down.
Well, it will. If we stand right here, get a better appreciation, perhaps, what's occurred.
Yeah.
These structures are close together. This is where the handrail is for the new bridge, and you can see there is an offset. You know, it's I don't know, 12 feet or so. There is an offset, but you know, you're working in close proximity. So the work has to be planned and executed in a methodical way. And if we look down to the north, the bridge actually crosses over, or our new road's going to go underneath it. So that element is going to have special care taken when it's being developed.
Now the new toll gate's going to be right there, and this section over here is going to be the new official temporary customs.
That's correct.
That mound.
That's approximately where it's going to go.
Yeah. So when people are coming from the south to the north, they're going to sort of come to the toll booth and then veer to the right.
That's right. There'll be a bend and a loop in the road to bring you into Canada Customs.
And then once they're through, they're going to have the option to go down Brookdale or to veer right and go towards Water Street.
They'll go back over the canal bridge, and then it's a right turn, a right slip into the lawn of Lamoureux Park, or else they'll have to go through the intersection straight north on Brookdale.
Now this sidewalk is a lot wider than the old little footpath across the old bridge. Are you expecting a lot more bike traffic or foot traffic?
Well, that's right. we're here on Cornwall's waterfront. When we did the environmental assessment, one of the things we wanted to do was to, well, a couple of things. One was to integrate this bridge with the cycle and pedestrian transportation, open up the waterfront. Instead of coming over the waterfront, we wanted to be part of the waterfront. And the second thing is, you know, it's really quite a link to Akwesasne. And,
yeah.
You know, with changing transportation modes, you know, this opens up other opportunities for people.
And as beautiful as some of the views are from the top of the old bridge, it's stunning. I mean, I'm just going to turn here. If you walk this way a little bit, we can catch the background. You're much closer to the water and to the views, and it's just a beautiful area.
You will feel more part of the river instead of just being over it, which has its own charms. But when you're driving, you can't really appreciate necessarily how beautiful it is. But when you walk here, I'm sure lots of people are going to come out, and this will be a popular spot.
So, what was the total budget of this project?
It's in the order of $75 million, and that's coming funding through the Federal Bridge Corporation, who is the owner of the structure, from Transport Canada.
Does that include the city sewage and rejigging of the pipes?
That, I believe, is additional funding from the city. They're sharing extra costs.
And what was the biggest challenge in this project for you guys? Was there a special hurdle? I mean, what were some of the obstacles? Because you're working with so many jurisdictions.
You know, it's just like you say, it's a 15-year project. So a big challenge we had was to come up with the best design approach.
Okay.
And we did that through an environmental assessment process that I believe that took about 2.5 or 3 years. I chaired that.
Look at this view.
Yeah. I co-chaired that with the Grand Chief of the Mohawks of Akwesasne, and we did something called a harmonized environmental assessment process. And the idea for that was, like you say, there's so many jurisdictions. So we did one process that met the federal environmental assessment requirements. It did the provincial, because the city was involved. We had to meet the provincial, and we coordinated with the Mohawks of Akwesasne and met their environmental assessment requirements. So the format of that was a little different than the typical federal EA. There were lots of public meetings, lots of involvement, quite a bit of studies on the fish, the fauna, but also the human impact and how this would improve. That's where we got the wider sidewalks. That's where some of the, you know, there's no drains in this bridge. There's nothing, no water for this bridge is going straight into the river. It's all draining down where it'll be collected and then put into stormwater ponds, and then it'll slowly trickle as it's, you know, the dirt or whatever gets cleaned out by the grasses and whatnot.
So that's to keep the river cleaner?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And the new piers, the way they're constructed, very little impact on the river. There's many elements like that. Not really obvious maybe when you're driving over it, but this is a real quality structure. It'll have a high quality impact on the users and a low impact on the river environment.
And it's been a huge employment project as well. I mean, there's everywhere you look, there's people busy working here.
Yes, it is a big activity. It's the third year of construction. One of the things that they do with the contract is we make sure that there's minimum levels of employment for the Mohawks of Akwesasne, but also there's real incentive in there for the contractor to try to use lots of local employment. That's what we want to see here. Any
rough idea of how many jobs this is created during the life cycle?
I could guess. I'd just be guessing, but it's very, very significant. I mean, it's been going for 3 years now. Yeah. And it's got quite a ways to go yet.
How are you going to feel when they bring the old bridge down?
Well, that's a good question.
Are you going to miss her?
There are times if I'm driving along the water street and I look up, the sun's going down. The bridge does look beautiful, you know, in terms of its overall shape, and it does build a three-dimensional presence here on our waterfront. But really, it would take a huge investment to keep it going, and eventually the safety of the users would be compromised if we didn't do that. So it's had its life, it's served its purpose, but really we're so excited about this new bridge.
It looks like a beauty. You want to head back this way, or is there something you want to see over here?
No, I think that's good, but you get an impression. What we're doing here, we're rising from the canal lands. As we head south, we're rising at a steady, easy grade, coming onto Cornwall Island. Nice straight run, and then we'll be meeting the natural grades on Cornwall Island, and
yeah, you talked about that on the way up a little bit. Also, the fact that you didn't change the road grades and you had to integrate the project into the existing grades because you couldn't raise it 20 feet.
Well, especially at the intersection of Brookdale Avenue and Water Street, we couldn't build that up and sort of have a level bridge crossing. We had to build those slopes in it, and I think it works quite effectively. It's a natural. It fits with the natural environment, and it does have the advantage. It gives us very good drainage on this structure. Which water is your enemy when you're maintaining things.
Yeah.
Just like at your home, you have to have a good roof. While here on the road, you need a great drainage system. Well,
especially with our snow and ice in the winters.
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to having a nice straight run and lots of width to work with when we're doing our snow removals.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.